Now that you've had a little practice identifying lame words in your writing, we need to learn how to fix them. There are several different ways you can do this. You could replace the lame word with something more specific and meaningful. You could remove the lame word entirely if it doesn't change anything. Or you could restructure the sentence to remove any need for the lame word. Let's look at an example. An electrolyte is a thing that ionizes when dissolved in something. The lame words thing and something make this sentence overly vague. We could replace them with more specific words. An electrolyte is a chemical substance that ionizes when dissolved in a solvent. In that version, you get to impress your chemistry teacher by correctly using the word solvent. So that's awesome. And we could actually just remove the first thing entirely, and the whole sentence will end up stronger. An electrolyte ionizes when dissolved in a solvent. And finally, we could restructure the sentence to get rid of any need for these lame words. When dissolved, electrolytes become ionized. One more example. Electrolyte drinks are a really good way for athletes to avoid dehydration. What is the word really actually accomplishing in this sentence? I mean, could you define the difference between good and really good? It's kind of just a meaningless word. Since really doesn't really mean anything in this sentence, see what I did there? We should probably just remove it altogether. Electrolyte drinks are a good way for athletes to avoid dehydration. The other problem here is the word good. Just like things and stuff, the words good and bad are vague, boring words, and we should avoid them whenever possible. So we need to figure out what we actually mean by good here. What we're trying to say here is that it successfully gets the job of rehydration done. In other words, it's effective. So instead of good, we could say that it's, I don't know, beneficial, efficient, advantageous, useful, whatever. Any of those would be better than good. I'll go with the first one. Electrolyte drinks are an effective way for athletes to avoid dehydration. Of course, we could also just restructure the whole sentence to avoid any need for these lame words. Electrolyte drinks help athletes avoid dehydration. Much better. All right, let's review. Here's your list of lame words that you should try to avoid. Really, very, good, bad, stuff, things. Lame. Some of the close runners-up include, but are not limited to, the following. Cool, great, beautiful, interesting, important, amazing, awesome, well, quite, big, small, happy, so, sad. You might want to review your own writing and start looking for the lame words that you tend to rely on. For me, I don't know why, it happens to be the word extremely, which is just a synonym for very, and I should really cut it out. Once you've identified your own pet lame words, start eliminating them with extreme prejudice. For the record, we're not saying that you can never use the words good or bad or very. Every once in a while, they might actually be effective word choices, like using the word stuff if you're trying to be intentionally vague, or really or very if you're purposely going for an informal style. But they should be used carefully and rarely. To revise lame words in your writing, we've practiced several strategies. You could replace the lame word with something more specific and meaningful. You could remove the lame word entirely if it doesn't change anything. Or you could restructure the sentence to remove any need for the lame word. Now it's your turn. Let's go to work. What is the word really actually accomplishing in this sentence? I mean, could you really, ha!